For Crema Media's Polity, I'm Sane Dhlamini. Researcher and analyst Professor Raymond Suttner joins me to discuss cleaning up after Zuma. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you.
Do you not think that people may interpret your article as diverting attention from the main issue, which is state capture?
Yeah, you know, I think one of the problems that I have is that people want a quick fix, and they say if you get rid of Zuma, we'll just restore the ANC to what it's supposed to be. And there's a lot of damage that has been done under Zuma. I'm not saying things were perfect before Zuma, but we've got to ask ourselves, what are the problems with Zuma? And what we get from the statements of the stalwarts and the MK veterans and Save South Africa is that Zuma is corrupt, and it seems to date in their minds from the period of Nkandla. Now, was everything fine before Nkandla? Because before Nkandla, Parliament was not questioning what the Social Development Department was doing. They were not querying the way social grants were being handled. But also, if you go back to the time when Zuma was elected, people didn't place much significance on the fact that he was already known to be corrupt. That in the Shabir Sheikh trial, it was shown that payments had been made to Zuma, and the only way Zuma could deliver on those payments was for him to do something in his power as a local government MEC, which benefited Sheikh. Equally, the way Zuma handled the rape trial is something we've got to reflect on. It signaled, in a way, a particular violent way of handling things. The way he handled the court case, the way he sang every day about "bring me my machine gun," the way in which his supporters threatened people outside. These are all signs of a sort of militarism associated with Zuma, which later found expression in the policing minister's reference to shoot to kill. And in South Africa now, life is cheap. We have cases of extrajudicial execution, but there are a lot of irregularities and the use of violence in the country is very high. But they operate under an umbrella where the tone has been set by the president. It's especially important in relation to people who bring a complaint of rape, where what you learn from Zuma's rape trial is that the person who brings a charge of rape will be persecuted. And it also hinders the climate of debate in the country, because all of these things are a threat to our freedom to express our views without fear of repercussions. So I think that when I wrote this article, what I was trying to say, when you get rid of Zuma, are people aware of what it is that they want to get rid of apart from the man? And many of these people concealed the qualities that Zuma had at the time, and they projected him as being what he was not. They've never admitted more than that they made a mistake. They have not admitted they lied to us, that they misrepresented what Zuma's political views were, that they didn't adequately place adequate weight on his corruption.
You also refer to Zuma's attitude to cultural questions as well as ethnic manipulation. What do you mean about this?
You see, Zuma repeatedly makes reference to cultural questions, and the way in which he does it is in order to silence alternative views of culture. In other words, to suggest that there's only one way that you can understand what it means to be an African. For example, in the rape case, if a woman is wearing a kanga, it is, in Zulu culture, you interpret this, according to Zuma, as an invitation to sex, and if you don't do it, you may be accused of rape, etc., etc. Now that is not the interpretation of Zulu culture, but it's a particularly patriarchal interpretation, which goes along with all sorts of sexist ideas that people have about people inviting rape by what they are wearing. Also, it goes along with a number of statements Zuma has made about women's proper role being to be child bearers, or that women must not have dogs as pets, and that only whites suffer from stress, and a whole lot of cultural nonsense. But they are, let me say, they are views of a particularly conservative, patriarchal man, but they are presented as being Zulu culture. In his rape case, the prosecution didn't challenge him on culture, and the judge went along with Zuma's views. On cultural chauvinism, at the time of the rape trial, you had people wearing T-shirts saying 100% Zulu, referring to Zuma as being, unlike Thabo Mbeki, who was Xhosa speaking, Zuma was 100% Zulu. And that sort of way of presenting himself as a candidate, as a leader, runs in the face of the foundations of the ANC. Because when the ANC was established, one of the things they said they wanted to do was to end what they called tribal antagonisms and animosity. Now, when you start elevating being Zulu and 100% Zulu as a special quality, it in a sense undermines the quality of other identities in South Africa. But there are a lot of situations where I think what I call essentialism there, this notion of being, of having a particular quality. If you are a real Zulu man, then you are strong and all these sorts of things. Now, we also saw this in the controversy around the spear painting, where, first of all, it was suggested that it's an insult to all African people, and for a man's genitals to be displayed is un-African, all that sort of thing. Now, all over Africa, there are paintings, there are sculptures where genitals are displayed. And what I think was being done in the objection to this was to silence debate. What could have been done in that thing is to actually have a debate as to what are the various cultural interpretations that could be placed on the painting, which was not such a good painting anyway, but the point is it was silenced. And the problem with all of this is that intellectual life, cultural life are impoverished because some people try to put an authoritative interpretation and not discuss it. And that's what I mean by some of these things.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
That was Professor Raymond Suttner speaking to Creamer Media's Polity about cleaning up after Zuma.